Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So, since I'm playing a lot of different builds in the past couple of days, just to see what is still good, what is bad, and so on, I decided to take back a little bit of a trip in Legion League and going again for the crit Impale dual wield Cycloner. And yeah, a lot of people said like, just don't do it, it got nerfed and blah blah blah, you know. I just think it's better to try something before saying it's dead, okay? So that's why I'm trying a lot of different builds at the moment, to just see what is fun just besides using summoners, right? Because it's Summoner League, right? So if you're just gonna take a look at PoE Ninja, just like a database build, right, site, you go to builds, you see here in Blight League, we are currently having there is like 14,000 characters listed between 93 and 100, and 22% of those playing Spectre, 19% zombies, summon skeletons, Val summon skeletons. These are the first ones. 44% of those are necromancers. If you take a look at Slayer, we are at 3%. 3% out of that 14,000 are playing Slayer at the moment. And the ones that are playing Cyclone, what do we have here? A lot of those will be cast on crit Cyclone with the Ascendancy with the Cost Priest, right? So, if we're gonna take a look back in the Legion League, we had the same thing, right? So, here we have now 40% Slayer, even 50% Cyclone, which is actually kind of the same as in Blight. It's just like summoner, 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 and so on, okay? So, you can basically count all those summoners in together. But it's basically the same kind of that we had in Legion League. Like, remember back, 3.6, Winter Orb, 3.7, Cyclone, 3.8, Summoner, 3.9, we're gonna see what they're going to rework, and that's probably gonna be broken as well. Anyways, I did play, or at least I did decide to play a Cycloner with some pretty garbage gear at the moment, because I just throw it together within like half an hour or something. Let's make this harder actually. 85%. Good. So we're gonna take a look at how Cyclone plays right now. How does the area of effect look like? How does the damage look like, and so on. And as I said, one of the builds actually, at least like I do have a lot of fun with this build again. So with all the celestial stuff and so on. Hey, where is my MTX? Wait, what? There we go. Cannot be full celestial without the celestial Cyclone. So, playstyle is pretty straightforward, as you know it. Right click and win, or spin to win, or whatever, right? I do have Blood Rage on my Paradoxicas. I want to talk about the Paradoxicas a little bit later, because I think it's just a cheap alternative to any kind of multi-modded jeweled foil. And jeweled foils are, at least like at this state of the league, we have like, what, 8 days in, 9 days in or something. I gotta say, multi-modding is expensive, right? Like, obviously. And I don't think there is a lot of people that have the currency to just multi-mod away every single item that they find. So that's why I'm not really interested in trying to craft any good multi-modded Fizz hybrid Dictators foils that are probably more than 10-15 exalts in worth, right? My whole gear is not even that worthy. And that's why I decided to go with the Paradoxicas, because they're actually kind of cheap at the moment, because they are kind of like buffed the, how's it called, the Mastermind, so you drop it, or at least the Mastermind spawns more often, and it rewards more loot, so more and more people are going to go for the Mastermind when they spawn it, and Paradoxica is a Mastermind drop, so they're gonna be quite a lot on the market. Last league, they were kind of pricey. Obviously, Paradoxicas are some nice weapons for any kind of melee build. We had the melee league, and I remember when I played Paradoxicas last league, I did actually spend, I think, like around 40 exalts per weapon to get my best in slot Paradoxicas going, right? So on this version here, I just bought the cheapest Paradoxicas that were on the market, talking about 1 exalt each. So that's not really a lot here, right? So, kill off the last beast here. I think Einhar is actually bugging right now, I guess. Catch it. Cheat. Catch it. Thank you, Einhar. So, let's kill off the boss. And then let's talk about the build a little bit, or at least I'm going to show you my full Uber Elder at the end of this video, okay? So, we're just gonna talk about the build here. And then you're gonna see at the end what kind of gear did I use for taking down the Uber Elder yesterday, which wasn't really too hard. So this was an Elder lair map, and you saw it's not really a big deal at all, right? We have enough life recovery rate, like life leech, we are a slayer, we have fizz reflect immune, so we do have a lot of fun in these. So let's sort in those junk items here, at least the currency, and then we're gonna talk about the build, why I actually or what did I take at the moment for gearing this character, and yeah. So Cyclone, or at least let's talk about Cyclone in the first hand. What did get nerfed and what did change? So obviously the physical damage of the base physical damage that they buffed last league to give melees a better time leveling got nerfed. So in damage wise, I cannot really feel the nerf. I mean, you know, it has been nerfed and you're probably not one-shotting anything, but at this kind of gear that I'm wearing at the moment, it's kind of obvious that I'm not one-shotting everything anyways, but I'm still having a good time. I did all the Guardians, Elder Guardians, Shaper, Deathless. On Uber Elder had a death, but yeah, you're gonna see that later on. But it's still doing quite well. I was kind of actually amazed how much damage it's still doing, even though I'm having like the low-budget Paradoxica weapons, right? So what else did they change? Obviously, the range. And this is something I want to talk about right now. So what did change in the range? So basically, if you remember last league, we were basically just stacking weapon range as much as we can, because the more weapon range we had, the more area of effect we had, right? So the bigger our Cyclone was. So there is, like, you can say like 3 stages. The one is like the low budget version, right? If you're saying like, yeah, you just level this character up, you have like maybe a tabula or something. If you compare the range from this one to the old Cyclone, you will probably not even feel something. Maybe like, yeah, 15-20% in total reduction of your Cyclone area, which is basically not really a lot, right? Yeah. So what is now with the Cyclone? You basically, as I said before, you were stacking range. The more range, the better, right? Now they changed it that you get 8% increased area of effect per 1 additional melee range, and the base range is, I think, 11. Do we see it somewhere here? But it is like that. Base range is now 11, and it's not based on your weapon anymore. So this one has weapon range 14, for example. This one has 11. Doesn't matter anymore. So back in the days, you had like your Jeweled Foil had 14, right? +3 Essence Craft is 17, plus your +6 from your Prismatic Eclipse, 3 white sockets is 23, right? So you had like twice as much base range as just the Cyclone game as it is right now. But as I said before, you have like what they specifically wanted to nerf. They said they want to have Cyclone back as a melee skill again, rather than a full screen AoE clear, right? And this is exactly what they did. So if you have low investment, you're not gonna feel a lot of this change. If you're, and we are talking about investment in terms of area of effect. So you have now the second investment, maybe not even mine character yet. This would be a Cyclone. Then I'm running the where is it, Pulverize support, right? Which with the more area of effect, or at least like now increased area of effect. And then you have increased area of effect, the support gem, all these kind of investments. You're gonna feel like, let's say, the more you invest into area of effect, the less good it becomes, right? So what they did basically, the more you invest, as I said, the more you're gonna feel the nerf. And they specifically meant this 5-way Legion carry. As I said before, a Carcass Jack, Prismatic Eclipse, 3 white sockets. So if you're unknown with these kind of builds, just Google for Cyclone 5-way carry, and you're gonna see the range and how people could actually get this range as well. I also made a guide back in the days. And this is what they nerfed. So what you can say is, let's write it down. So Cyclone, old, Cyclone, new. This is not like 100% numbers, it's just like what I, it's just for an easier understanding, right? So, low investment in AoE, right? So, you have this one, you say like, how are we gonna do this? Wait, low investment, let's say mid investment, and then we have the high investment. And high investment is basically the 5-way carry like we built it last league, right? So, let's say the old one, this was like 100% good, this was like 150, and this was basically 250 with the carcass check and so on. So how you would feel like the same gear states as of those three, how you would feel like with the new Cyclone, with the reworked AoE. Probably this is going to be 90, this is going to be 120 maybe, and this is going to be probably 150. So this is what I want to say. So the more you invest into AoE, the more you're gonna feel the nerf. So if you're not using prismatic eclipse, like this full area of effect clear thing that we had last league, you're not gonna feel the area of effect too much. So I'm only playing with Pulverize at the moment. So just Cyclone and Pulverize. This one is an infused channeling, so no increased area of effect. The only thing that I have basically are some weapon range modifiers on my skill tree, and that's about it, you know. And I think like the Cyclone radius is probably as big as my my area of effect here of the, what's it called, the Blood and Sand or Flesh and Stone, whatever this aura is here. I think it's Blood and Sand. So it's still quite good, I have to say. And this is exactly the kind of build setup you're gonna use when you're going for Uber Elder, for bosses, and so on. It was just like more rewarding to have this insane huge area of effect with double beyond, inspired learnings, headhunter, blah blah blah. But if you're actually building your Cycloner as a boss carry like I did, you're not gonna feel a lot of the nerf. Obviously it's a little bit smaller, but it's not too hard. So let's talk about the gear itself. A Devotus with a Leap Slam, Endurance Charge, Melee Stun, Blood Magic, and faster attacks. This one to generate the Endurance Charges when we're just jumping around here. Then Paradoxicas. This is something I would like to talk, but I don't want to talk about it too in depth, let's say it like that. So Paradoxicas is actually a bad weapon, let's say it like that. It has 170 Fizz DPS, my other one is like 160. Which is kind of low. If you're thinking like, wait a second, last league we used like 400 or 500 physical DPS dual foils, now you're using a 170 DPS weapon, like what the fuck? Yeah, but this weapon deals double damage. That means I would probably say, since our damage is double damage and also the Impale is double damage, I would say this is probably equivalent to like probably 350 to 400 Fizz DPS, and I paid like 1 Exalt for one of each, right? Like 1 Exalt each, so, God, English. That means that it's not really a bad weapon. And last league, if we are taking a look at some better Paradoxicas, because they can roll completely different. So this one has now 86 to 94 and attack speed with Blood Rage. So in a perfect world, like where the ones that I used last league, it was basically like this. You had like this, the highest Fizz roll can get up to 105, and then you can have attack speed and quality. Mine do have attack speed and Blood Rage, both on them, right? It's not like because I wanted, I just bought the cheapest Paradoxicas that were in the market with attack speed and Fizz damage. Pretty much, or easy explained, right? So let's go back here. You're gonna see DPS, Fizz DPS 191, here 200 Fizz DPS with the corruption to have those weapons to 30% quality, and quality obviously affects the physical damage. So you're having 200 Fizz DPS, that's like a 30 Fizz DPS more than my main hand here, or 40 more than my offhand. And they are basically equivalent to like a 500 DPS jeweled foil. And if you remember, how much do 500 Fizz DPS go for? Probably like 30 Exalt, maybe a little bit more. 40, something like that. So there is going to be different prices in this league since it's not the melee league, but still having 500 Fizz DPS foils is insanely high. Okay, so even my tier 1 dictators, multi-modded, super good weapons did have like 460 DPS, right? And I would say like a really well-rolled Paradoxica would probably be better on this stage. Okay, so this is just why I use Paradoxicas. First hand, it's cheap. Second, they do a shitload of damage. In here, I have at the moment Cast on Death and Portal, which is just like, I didn't know what to do in there, right? Usually I would take like a curse setup, right? Or the next thing, Blood Rage. But since my weapons give me Blood Rage, I have those spots open here, right? So I'm not even running a Temp Chains or an Assassin's Mark, a Warlord's Mark, anything. I'm not running any curse at the moment. So this is how cheap my build at the moment is, okay? It's going to be better for sure, but I can already kill Uberalder without big problems, so it's just going to be better and better once I invest more and more into the gear. On the other hand, I have cast damage taking, Immortal Call, and increased duration support means that the endurance charges that I get will get soaked up, and I'm getting for a longer time. I will get the less LE and fist damage taken from the Mortical. You can also take the steel skin here. Then let's talk about the chest. The chest is expensive, okay? So I'm having bought at least an item level 86 Elder Astral Plate. They are usually going for like, I think I paid 5 exalts for mine. But this is just the base price, okay? We're not talking, or at least like unlinked. I'm not talking about what my chest actually can do. So it's going for 5 exalts. I did have the exalts in my stash, and I want to invest into this one as soon as I get currency again. That's why I bought the better base, because I didn't really want to buy a cheap base and then investing into fusings to maybe link it or not. Because having, like, fusings are kind of expensive. Like, they're like 1 chaos 2 fusing, so they are hilariously expensive. So you want to make sure that the item that you're linking is the right base, right? So in terms of that, no Elder mod on this chest, right? We not even have the MAME yet. We have a crafted life roll, right? I just used a couple of serrated and pristine fossils, maybe like 3 or 4, because the only thing that I, at the moment, really want is the minus 15 total mana cost of socketed attacks, right? So that my Cyclone is for free. Last league we did this with the minus mana cost on rings or amulet, but they changed that. They changed the minus mana cost of skills to non-channeling skills have minus mana cost. So yeah, good job GGG, because Cyclone is a channeling skill, so it's not affecting us anymore. So you have basically 3 options to still get a free Cyclone, right? One would be, I think the Clarity minus mana mod can get up until like 10. I think that Cyclone itself has like 8 mana cost or 9, depending if you have MAME or not, something like that. So the minus 10 mana cost on the Clarity would be an option. Then you have the chest that gives you minus socketed attacks have minus 50 mana cost, or you still gonna find the minus mana cost of skill. Wait, mana cost of skills, total mana cost, basically on a ring, and it should be non-unique. Any non-unique, right? So you have this one, it's called the Eldrion's mod, and this is a temple mod, right? So here you really have the original one that we are using last league, but as you can see, they're kind of expensive, even though they're not even regaled, blah blah blah, you know, like getting them good. Then they can go from 4 to 8, means you're gonna spend quite some divines to get them good. Then you probably want to have like a Shaper base or an Elder base, and they are getting hilariously expensive. There is not even one on the market yet. Can actually not even be, because it's a temple thing, right? And in temple you're not gonna pretty much drop shaped items a lot, like, don't even know. So I would like to know this actually, but probably that would make sense that you cannot get this mod at the moment on a shaped or an Elder base. So it's a pretty big nerf here, but that's why you want to have the minus socketed mana cost on your Astral Plate. So in a perfect world, as I said, this chest is pretty much shit, right? We don't even have an Elder mod on here. We just have crafted life and minus mana cost of skills. What I would like to have is base crit, MAME, and so on, like, and mana cost, and a nice life roll, and so on. So this would be a good chest, but this one is pretty much shit. So if you're saying, wait, you're using an Elder Astral Plate, like, what the fuck, that's a couple exalts? Yeah, it is a couple exalts, but in the end, it has mana cost of skills and crafted life, which you can have on any single chest out there, okay, unless it's a Tabula. So having here Cyclone with Impale, Brutality, Pulverize, Fortify, and Infuse Channeling. So Fortify and Infuse Channeling to give me that nice layer of defense as well. So the rest of the items, and this is really the rest of the items, are shit rare items. So let's take a look at my glorious amulet here. Lightning, cold resistance, wow, insane. Intelligence, really nice. Fizz is extra fire, wait a second, I'm using Brutality, so I don't have fire damage. So basically, it's a 2 res with crafted life. Wow, insane. Rings, life resistance, here. Life resistance, oh yeah, here. Life resistance, aspect of the spider. Why aspect of the spider? Because it was on my older build, and I don't have the mana to reserve aspect of the spider. So it's basically a 1 resistance life gloves here. And for the boots, it's life and resistance. And for the belt, it's life and life recovery rate. This is an Elder mod. I got this one for 5 chaos. Pretty cheap. It's an energy shield base, but I don't really care on that too much at the moment. So what I want to say is, my gear is pretty much chunkier. If I look at my resistance, I'm overcapped on cold resistance 195. So at some point when I decide to rework my character, at the moment it's working, I can even kill Uber Elder with this kind of state of build. But my resistance are super overcapped. I could use an Impresence and get finally maybe replace the Custom Death Portal with a Blasphemy, Vulnerability, and Power Gem to make even more damage. And even the Impresence, the Fist one, the Red Elder drop is actually quite nice. You get Fist damage, you get life, armor, and so on. Here for the gloves I have Dread Banner, Pride, Enlighten, and Precision. And the boots we have Flesh and Stone, Maim and Support, Blood and Sand, and Enlighten level 3 as well. So I do have a lot of auras, as I said, Precision, Dread Banner, Blood and Sand, Flesh and Stone with Maim, and the Pride. So I'm running a double Enlighten. That basically controls what level I can use my Precision on. So at the moment it's level 7, that means I have 12 mana left. Probably, if it works, if I level this one up one time more, but I don't really... Wait, I have mana here. Like, never, forget it, okay? But it depends on your Enlightened supports, how high you can get your Precision. Because at the moment I'm having 95% hit chance, which is quite enough, right? It's fair enough, dude. But I still want to try to reach 100%. I think if I have 2 Enlightened level 4... and all my other auras will reserve less mana, I have a bigger mana pool to have my Precision going, right? So this is basically, as I said, double Enlighten level 3, nothing too expensive on this gear at all. So let's talk about the flasks. Divine Life Flask, this is basically an instant life flask, then Bleed Immunity, Curse Immunity, Freeze Immunity on Diamond, Basalt, and Silver Flask. Bleed Immunity is not necessary because we are Slayer. That means as long as we are leeching, we are bleed immune, right? So, yeah, I just had this one on my stash for from another character. I think it was the Blade Vortex one. So I was just like, yeah, let's just use it because of the Onslaught effect. And then a Quicksilver Flask to have better movements. So if we take a quick look at the skill tree, it's pretty much the same skill tree, a generic melee crit one, and I did remove the jewel slots for now because the jewels that I want to have I cannot afford yet. So I was like, before I have like empty slots or just like a one chaos jewel in there, I'm just going to make my empower my fortify better or my soul and steel to get the max resistance and so on. So on the left side, if we take a look at the jewels, Transcendent Flash as usual. This one got buffed / nerfed. Okay, so it got buffed in that case. Before it was 5% increased crit multi, now it has 7% crit multi, which is a buff, right? But it still gives us less. So we currently get 49% crit multi. In last league it was 70%, I think. And this is because they switched off the Utmost Might. This is the triple strength cluster. It was actually here on the Redstone cluster. So the jewel did affect those 3 strength nodes, and that's why I got so much crit multi out of that. So what they did is they are switching basically Redstorm with Utmost Might, so now you have the bleed nodes over here, and it's not affecting the strength nodes over here. That's why it's basically a buff in terms that jewel got buffed, but a nerf since there is less strength in the area of effect, or at least in the area. Then here I have my typical Impale 2 additional hits, which is kind of cheap this league. I bought mine for 3 exalts. It might actually be cheaper by now since more people are killing Elder and Red Elder. So 2 additional Impale going for, yeah, 2.4, 2.5 exalts. If you remember last league, they were like 10 exalts. So this is the good thing in this league. It's a summoner league, it's a poison build, it's whatever league. So you're gonna get these stuff pretty much cheaper as last league. And therefore it's going to be super strong. Then on top of that, since I'm a Slayer with Overleech, Val Pact, Vitality Void, here's some more Life Leech nodes. Then the typical Life, Crit, Accuracy, Life, and Multiplier nodes with Fatal Blade on the left side, right side, and Blade Master on the left side to guarantee a lot of damage, accuracy, multiplier, and so on. Path of Building link is in the description below, and I'm not really using any more jewels because, yeah, lack of currency basically. So let's take a look at the cosmetics. We have the Transcendent Helm, body armor, gloves, and boots with Celestial character effect and footprints with the Void Wings, a double Seraph sword, and the Sentinel weapon effect from the new supporter pack. With Celestial Cyclone, then Dark Immortal Call, the Celestial Leap Slam, which I really love. Then invisible buff effect for the Dread Banner. Then we have Monolith Aura effect and Celestial Aura effect for both Pride and what's left, probably Precision. And then double Celestial Blood and Sands effect for the Flesh and Stone and Blood and Sand here. So yeah, bandits I killed all since I helped. God, I always get this wrong. Bandits I helped Alira because it's a crit build and I'm getting the multiplier and the additional all resistance. And what's left? Bandits, Pantheon. So I'm using Solaris at the moment and Yugal because I'm farming Uber Elder at the moment. And Solaris for another layer of defense. Okay, that's about it. That's basically the first stage of the build. And I'm gonna say, I really dig it again. It's really a lot of fun. It's not a problem at all to kill the whole content with this kind of gear. And as I said, if I would have the currency, probably my character would be 3 times stronger than this one. And this already can kill Uber Elder. But we can now watch this Uber Elder clip from yesterday, so you can make yourself, yeah, your own mindset about Cyclone in the current state. How well is it still, if you should pick it up or not. But I just can say I'm having a lot of fun with this one. I even leveled up 3 levels just by mapping yesterday. I was doing a lot of these master missions here. And yeah, currently I'm just non-stop farming Uber Elder because I'm grinding my challenges. I'm currently on 27 of 40. So there is still a lot of things to do, but it's not like too hard this league. So probably 1 week from now and I should be done with 40 of 40 and done with the league pretty much. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'm down, or at least like I'm off to farm some, or at least I'm actually on like live streaming, like, oh my god, farming some more Uber Elders, trying to get those big, juicy Watcher's Eyes. And yeah, see you on the next video. So, here we go. Here we go. First Uber Elder as Cyclone. Legit bullshit gear. Hey, sir? Can you stop? Okay.
I may not
Father, no!
putrefy, rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something!
And getting one shot. Wait, what? Hey, the damage is legit good. Holy. Wait, what? Hey, why am I... Hey, that's more damage than my Blade Vortex, dude.
From the void.
Ready phase transition, easy clap, dude. Like in the first hand, I was like, I'm not even sure if I can do it. Can I do it with all portals? But it legit looks like... I mean, I'm gonna jinx it anyways, right? But at the moment, it looks like we're going to do it deathless.
Gaze into the abyss. Gaze into the abyss.
Ah, shit. I was like, I wanted to actually go there to hit the minion to get the overleech going. That was the plan now, but before I hit it, I was actually dead because of the degen. Feels bad. I jinxed it. I told you, I jinxed it. But not a big deal. Because... You know why it's not a big deal? Because it's branching, Exile! It's branching. It's branching. Hey. Why couldn't I not leech that? Oh, come on.
There'll be time for that soon enough.
Oh, come on, dude. Told you, I jinxed it. And this is the reason why I'm getting now a double anger Watcher's Eye. Okay, we're gonna wait. There you go. Wait. For Elder Slam. Now we're going. I call hacks. But still, that with that shit gear, dude. With that shit gear, Uber Elder is not a problem. Okay. Means that Cyclone is definitely not that. You know what's that? The loot of Uber Elder. Fuck is this shit?